recognize the ranking member acting, Mr. Nunes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And thank you, Mr. Secretary, for joining us here today. The Democrats running for president this year are spreading horror stories about the current state of the American economy. Senator Bernie Sanders stated that the average American worker is not making a nickel more in real inflation-accounted dollars than he or she did 45 years ago. Former Vice President Biden has purported that the wealthy are the only ones doing well. And former South Bend Mayor, Mr. Buttigieg, has said that a lot of the growth isn't getting to most of us. Shy of the facts and heavy on politics, Democrats are attempting to convince the public that the economy is not working. But under the leadership of President Trump, yourself, and Republicans in Congress, we have adopted specific policies focusing on lower taxes, modernized trade, balanced regulation that has sparked historic economic growth, including real wage growth for all income brackets. These policies have put us in a much better position to face global headwinds. That's why our economy alone has grown strongly while other group of 7 countries faltered. And that's why we will be able to sustain the challenges posed by the novel coronavirus. And while the Democrats here today will say our reforms aren't working, Mr. Secretary, American workers and businesses are seeing past the defeatist rhetoric. Today, workers are enjoying one of the strongest economies in our nation's history. Republican tax reform has changed the trajectory of our economy. That is evidenced in a recent baseline report from the Congressional Budget Office, which shows the American economy is growing, creating jobs, and generating all-time highs in revenue. Economic growth has beaten expectations made by these nonpartisan scorekeepers 2 years in a row. But this is where I agree with my Democratic colleagues. We shouldn't just look at the top-line numbers, because what is happening at the microeconomic level is even more historic. Income inequality has declined in all metrics for the first time in decades, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics' current population survey. Throughout 2019, wages grew by 5.2% for low-income workers in the 90th percentile, while wages for those at the top saw a modest increase of 1.9%. This means, on average, factory workers voting today in California saw a $3,500 more in their paychecks last year. Non-supervisory workers are seeing substantially higher wage growth than their managers, and those with just a bachelor's degree are seeing faster wage growth than those with advanced degrees. Most important, the poor are gaining the most. According to the White House Council of Economic Advisors, wealth for the bottom 50% of workers is up nearly 47%, while those at the top, it is up only 13%. This wage growth points to why consumer confidence is so high today. Overall, economic confidence clocked by Americans is at a 20-year peak. Gallup found that rarely in the years that Gallup has tracked public ratings of the economy since the early 1990s have Americans had higher confidence in the economy than they do now. The strength of the U.S. economy depends on the foundation of a strong working class, and under the Trump administration, workers are reaping the benefits of policies that put their needs first. Republicans and you, Mr. Secretary, continue to elevate policies that will continue this historic streak. A new North American trade pact was just signed into law. An initial trade deal between us and China, the world's second largest economy, was recently implemented, and we overhauled our nation's retirement system to make it easier for families to save for the future while equipping small businesses to offer retirement plans. This growth can continue, and while congressional Democrats brood with their obsession with ousting President Trump from office, it's good to see you are staying focused on the big things that matter most to the American people. The naysayers can continue to deny reality, but the incredible success of this economy is actually beyond dispute. The path forward is clear. We must extend and deepen the tax cuts, continue improving our trade relationship to benefit American workers, and expand even more effort to help Main Street hire, expand, and invest. Mr. Secretary, I look forward to a productive discussion today on how we can best make that happen. With that, thank you, Chairman Neal, and I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Nunes.